What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of R&R. As always, I'm Logan.
I'm Ethan. Yeah, so let's get into it. So today we're going to be going over the Taurus TX22 Gen 2. We picked this gun up about a month ago, so we haven't shot it a bunch. We're about roughly 1,000 rounds into it. I would say 3/4 of those shots have been taken with the suppressor. 1/4 I'd say were without the suppressor. So far it's been a pretty impressive little gun. It's got a 16 round or 22 round magazine capacity, depending if you're using the extended mag or the shorter mag you see up front. Reliability's been pretty good. When we first started shooting it, we were shooting some federal, some federal 40 grain stuff that just came in a big cardboard box.
Did not run very well.
Didn't run very well, and it also didn't run well in the 1022 Charger either. So I believe that was ammo. Then we switched over to some of these CCI subsonics, and for about, what would you say, about 500 rounds?
Yeah,
we didn't have a single malfunction. And then I think it's getting dirty because we started shooting some CCI mini mag hollow points through it, and those shot okay. We had a few malfunctions on the first few mags. Threw a little bit of grease on the gun and stopped having as many malfunctions.
I mean, everyone knows notorious that 22s run dirty. You know what I mean? So.
And it's a Taurus on top of that. So, not saying it's great, not saying it's bad, but for the money, this gun we got it for about $300 roughly, and then.
And that's the Gen. You said Gen 2 optics cut with 3 mags.
Yeah, it came with 2 mags and we bought another mag.
Okay.
So for the gun, the extra mag, and about 1,000 rounds of ammo, it was about $370, which is insane.
And they do have the non-cut version too. If that, if anyone out there doesn't really like running dots or whatever else, or doesn't care to. If
you're somewhere, Central Ohio, we got this from Fin Feather Fur. Sportsman's Den and Finn both had the non-optics cut package with 5 mags for, I believe it was like $289 at the time. So that's a really good deal if you'd ever want to run an optic on it.
You got your your Hollow Suns, the 507 Ks, is that?
Yeah, the EPS carry.
EPS carries.
Burst makes a few options, or one option.
The new Olight O-Sight SEs or the RMSC cuts and everything else now too. So
that's just on the optics cut. The gun itself, the ergonomics on it feel great. It's got these little gas pedals right here, which you don't really need for a 22, but it is nice. The grip feels almost identical to the PSA Dagger as far as the grip angle, the texture, the ergonomics. So to say that, it feels very comfortable in the hand. It's very easy to shoot. It's surprising how accurate this little gun is.
And even just kind of going off just, the ergos of the gun and everything, trigger's not trash. I mean, for a little 22,
the trigger's at least as good as a Glock factory trigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. And just kind of bringing it up, like, as you guys seen last week, we had the 1022 video. Obviously, we're bringing this 22, just kind of going over some easy training tools, I guess. Cheaper training tools, cheaper ammo, cheaper guns for the most part.
Well, and also the philosophy on these is like this gun right here, it's a fun gun. There's no defensive purpose for it. There's no
this is the
hunting
new
purpose.
with the FRTs, everything.
PSR and all those guys that run FRTs in them, which is really cool. The reason why we got this gun we both got young children, be able to get them down here to start teaching them how to shoot and not have to worry about hearing protection, be able to actually talk to them, stuff like that. Same thing with the 1022 Charger. That's the reason why that gun was actually put together specifically for my kids to learn how to shoot on and learn how to hold a long gun. Something that's not a super long gun, then you throw a suppressor on the end of it. Kind of hard for a 8-year-old or 10-year-old to wield that.
And even if it is a little bit longer, they're not super heavy. Like, most of us probably learned on a 20 gauge shotgun or something. You're sitting there, you're holding it, and you're 8-10 years old, you're dipping down and stuff. I remember, when I first started shooting, Dad had to put a snow shovel in the ground so I had something to rest on. But really didn't have stuff like this, back then. So
just going over a few of the other features of this gun, it does have a manual safety, which for a regular gun I'd say not a huge fan of for a defensive handgun. For this, it's nice because I'd say most of the reason why is we haven't been able to find a holster that it works with. I know they make them, but we were just trying to see if it would work with our Safariland or his Ragnarok or any of our concealed carry holsters and it doesn't. It's not compatible. So it is nice having that manual safety. It does have some steel sights on it, which is
better
crazy.
Than Glock.
Say factory Glock. Take notes. But it's got some real nice lightning cuts on the slide. It's the serrations on the front and the rear are very aggressive. They feel it's easy to rack the gun. If you're a small statured shooter, or somebody that has older, maybe weaker hands, it is very easy to rack the slide. But yeah,
and I kind of want to just point back to with the manual of safety, kind of what we brought up just a little bit ago about teaching kids. You know what I mean? Like it's that one little extra safety feature. You know what I mean? Like, so if your kid's holding it, or even say your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, or say you're an avid shooter and that person, whoever you're teaching or shooting with, isn't, it's always nice just to have that extra, precautionary.
Yeah.
Me and myself, I mean, I'm sure you probably agree with it. Well, you did. I'm not a huge fan of safeties at all.
Not on handguns.
And your gun's not going to go off by itself unless you have a SIG.
320.
So, but I mean, other than that, like these guns, or this gun in general, I mean, it's super fun to shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys will see in the video, we put through 300-400 rounds in the matter of what, half hour, 40 minutes,
if even.
I mean, it doesn't, and you don't feel as guilty either.
Yeah.
Shooting 200 rounds of 9, you're like, I just blew through, $60-80 or whatever. You shoot through 200 rounds of 22, you're like, well, there goes 350.
Yeah, $20 maybe.
Yeah,
$10.
like you're not breaking the bank when you're shooting one of these.
And also, it's not just us. Logan and I are very avid shooters. We've been shooting for a very long time. You'll see in this video, we had our buddy Walker out here. You've seen him in other videos. He shoots, but he's not like super. He's not super. He's a young guy. He's not gonna have as much experience as we are, anyways. But he was shooting it. He had a blast shooting it. It's a lot of fun. He was able to hit targets right off the rip. Even, I didn't even explain to him as far as the process of lining up your sights and just kind of aiming through the suppressor, because it does not have suppressor height sights, and that is a 9mm can, so it sticks up above the sights. But even with him just intuitively picking it up, pushing it out, he was shooting it, and without us even talking to him about it, he said the same thing, that it feels just like the PSA Dagger for the most part.
Because this gun's been out for a few years now and stuff. Like I said, it's just kind of grown in popularity over the last few months with people throwing the FRTs in there and making this a little just semi-auto,
Yeah, simulated full auto as close as you can get and still be legal.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, with the last video and then with this video being the the 22, we're just, like I said, just kind of trying to get some more information out there, especially for younger shooters, newer shooters, less avid shooters, whatever you want to call it. Just you don't have to go and drop $500-600 on a Glock or a SIG or whatever you want to shoot. You don't have to go buy a $1,000 Gucci Glock or a Platypus or a Staccato or whatever else. You can go and just get something like this to where you practice with it, you get comfortable. Yeah, you get comfortable with it. You train with it. You get down, you put your rounds down. Obviously, that's not going to be the same as shooting a 9 or 40 or 45 or something. But you're still going to understand like the recoil and and everything else of it.
And also, the being a 22, they're not as reliable as your 9mm options out there. So it will also teach you how to clear malfunctions. And also the other thing is too is like, I wish I had a gun like this 8-10 years ago when I was teaching CCW classes. This would have been great to have a couple of these if you have a new shooter, because I saw it a lot where guys would come out here with 9mm or 40 cals and they wouldn't be able to even hit anything. So you're trying to, you got a class of 20 people and you're trying to just give a little bit of one-on-one session time. It would have been nice to have this to be able to show them what they're doing and then be able to switch over to their actual gun they planned on carrying.
And even if too, someone along those lines are, I don't want to say afraid, but they might be just, I guess, might be a little bit of afraid. You know what I mean? You have something like this where it's not gonna recoil, it's not gonna hurt their wrist, it's not gonna, they're not gonna be scared of it. Especially if if you have a suppressor to throw on there, it makes everything, a lot more fun to shoot compared to, not wearing ears when you shoot. It's pretty fun. So, show you guys some different options, some training tools, I guess, is what we really kind of look at these as. Just getting down there, get some trigger time.
Well, I was gonna say, one other thing I just thought about real quick. We'll hit this and we'll get out of here. But that did get some moisture on it the last time that we shot it. It sat for a couple weeks, and it was definitely neglected. I didn't wipe it down with any oil or anything, so that's on me. But it did have some surface rust showing on it here and there. So just keep that in mind. It's not a Glock with like a really good coating on it. It is a cheaper gun. It's a cheaper 22. So probably not a bad idea to keep a rag with some gun oil on it and just wipe it down when you're done handling it.
But, I mean, especially in this glorious weather of Ohio that we have right now.
I was gonna say,
it's a heat wave today. It's pushing 50 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. It's been in the low teens to single digits here in the last couple of weeks, but We appreciate everything on both channels. Obviously, if you guys are not subscribed to both channels, this one is just regular reloads and reps. The link to the second channel is daily R&R. We haven't stopped on that one, but we are pushing this one a little bit harder just because we're
trying to get
closer
monetized.
to monetization on this one. We just got to get our hours up a little bit more, and we're right there. Just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification.
And we'll see you guys next time with your daily dose of R&R.
We'll see you guys.
Whoa.